Well, hey, welcome to the EdTech Unpacked podcast. We're all about inspiring teachers to better reach and connect with students to have a positive impact on their lives, one that lasts for eternity. I'm Aaron Long.
And I'm Desmond Suarez, and we are passionate about helping educators learn how to better use technology in their classroom. And today, you notice we're in a little bit of a different setting.
We're together.
We're together. You
That's
never
different.
see us together. We're usually states apart. But we're here together as once a year, or give or take. We're part of a group called the AEtech Committee that meets and talks about Adventist education, or technology and Adventist education. And we're excited later we're going to introduce you to all of our team. But for now, we're really excited to introduce you to our leader. And if you are an Adventist educator already, you know this name because you get emails from her, and they're full of good things, including promotions about our podcast. We appreciate it. But we want to introduce you to Martha Ban. Some of you haven't had the privilege of meeting her yet in person, so we hope this is a great introduction. And Martha, share a little bit about your role and responsibilities in Adventist education.
Well, thanks, guys. It's great to be part of this. I watch you, and as you said, I promote you all the time, so it's kind of daunting to be part of one. So thank you. So my role, I'm the Director of Technology for Education at the North American Division of Seventh-day Adventist. And what that means pretty much is anything that's technology and education comes under me. Some of the biggest initiatives that we've worked with is a brand new student information system, AEtech. It's owned and developed by the North American Division. So it's pretty big. It keeps me busy managing the website and working with technology and resources, trying to get good deals and all of that good stuff.
So you jumped in and you shared a key nugget there we were going to dialogue a little bit about, so that you beat us to the punch. That's AE Connect. Anything else you want to add context-wise there? You know, we have our teachers tuning in here. But before we move on to the next question, anything else you'd like to share about AE Connect?
Sure. Thank you. I could talk all day, but I won't. AE Connect is built for our Adventist teachers, administrators, and students. With all that's going on in the world and all kinds of things that are required in the student information system by the world, we don't have that because we are built specifically for us. So what that means really is that with the 52% of our 688 schools that are small schools, this system is tailor-made for those schools. If you're part of the larger schools, guess what? The system is built for you too. So standards-based learning coming, we will soon be able to have the assessment piece in there for SBL and anything else that goes into reporting and making jobs easier for you guys.
Cool. You know, that's a little bit about AE Connect there. Those of you out there, we're just barely scraping the surface with the most incredibly broad job description that probably exists out there, and that's Martha's. She does so many things for us, early, middle of the day, late. I mean, she's working around the clock, so we're just really grateful to you, Martha, for all that you do. I know we speak for the teachers out there that benefit from your passion and your hard work for many years, and so thank you for all that you're doing. Let's get to know a little personal side. So, hey, what's something that, you know, is an area of passion or interest for you? This could be related to technology or not. So what would you share?
One of the things that I learned early on in teaching is that if you get a computer in front of a kid, you can connect. And that was way back in the dark ages. And I think it's come full circle. So one of the things that a passion for me is really helping to make a difference no matter what tools we're using. There's so much going on in our world, and I don't know about you guys, but it seems that every day somebody has lost a loved one or had challenges. And so a bigger passion, I think, is just making every day count. Every interaction that we have with our kids, with however we're doing it, just make it count for Christ.
Amen. So listen, this wasn't planned, but you basically just embodied in that answer our closing line to every episode. I'm going to read it because usually it's tucked away at the end, and I always wonder how many people stick around to hear that. But here it is. It's not just about the tools and technology you use, but how you foster meaningful relationships with your students to transform their lives. It's that relational side, the impact, goes way beyond technology. So hearing you say that, hey, that resonates with Desmond and I know. So thanks for sharing.
Very much. Martha, do you think you could tell us a little bit about AEtech and the group that you lead there?
Sure. So one of the things that comes under me is I'm co-chair of AEtech. AEtech back in the day was technology, was TDEC, and I think we're going to get some history of that later, so I won't spoil that. But the mission of AEtech is really simple, but it's powerful, and that is to strengthen Adventist education through technology that enhances teaching, learning, and ministry. So we work together as a team to help make technology not just functional, but meaningful. We have 9 unions in the division, and we have at least one representative for each union. We have become a family. I can text people in that group at any hour, and they know that they need to reply. But we work hard to answer, to be responsive to teachers' needs in schools with working for discounts and all kinds of things.
Uh-huh.
And just as a member of that group, we're both members. That's how we got to this point. But it has really been a highlight of my career to work as a part of this group. And I'm glad to be a part of it. It is like a family. It is great. And we're all here passionate about supporting EdTech in our schools as a tool to empower relationships and learning.
Man. All right. So, hey, we're going to close with this one, Martha. We're going to ask this of every AEtech member here on this episode. That is, share your best advice for the classroom teachers out there. Look, that's where your roots come from. We're all teachers at heart. Being that you have served in multiple areas of the church and different roles and responsibilities, we value the perspective of our teammates. And I know the teachers will too. So what would you share your best advice for teachers out there?
The best advice I have for educators is to focus on our kids. Don't focus on the latest thing that's come out. Don't go chasing after new trends and whatnot. It may turn out to chase you. So focus on Christ, focus on your kids, because that's what we're about.
Amen. I think we're going to probably hear a lot of that type of advice from our team. But hey, Martha, thanks again for joining us. We're really sorry you couldn't be in person with us this week, like most of the team. But nonetheless, we appreciate you. All you teachers out there, lift up Martha. She does a lot for us. Pray for her, support her. We're grateful for her. And now we're going to turn to the rest of our team. We're going to cut this shot, and you'll see our team joining us momentarily, and we're going to get to know them a little bit and hear more from them. So thanks again, Martha.
Thanks, guys.
All right, hey, here we are with the team. This is a group of awesome people, good friends of ours, and we're blessed to be with them today. We've just heard from Martha Ban, our fearless leader, and now we're going to hear from the team that executes orders. And so we're going to kind of just share a little bit today, get to know each member. Teachers out there, we're hoping to connect you with your area representative so you know a little bit about them. Put a face to a name, but also get to know a little bit about each other. So we're going to start out with 2 charter members of this group. We have Jonathan and Colin that are going to kick it off here. Tell us a little bit about the history after they introduce themselves of this group, because I'll be here learning with you guys. And then we're going to go around the horn and get to know everybody. So you guys share a little bit.
Well, thank you, Aaron. Yes, I'm Jonathan Sumner. I am at the Georgia Cumberland Conference, and I'm a Southern Union representative for AEtech. And thought it might be kind of fun to tell you a little bit about the history. Back in the mid-'90s, about that time, the union directors decided that they really were needing some help, some expertise, if you will, some skill in trying to understand how technology is going to be working with our schools and our teachers. And technology was evolving very quickly. Computers were coming on, internet was becoming a thing, and how do you mitigate that? And there was just a lot of questions. So the unions, I thought it was just a very wonderful, clever idea. They formed this idea to put together TDEC. We are called, in our former selves, Technology Distance Education Committee, TDEC. And it's a North American Division committee that has been long-standing for many, many years. I think the first iteration that I was involved in lasted for about 4 years. And then there was a shift, and they closed down or shut down the committee for a little while. And then back in probably about 2001, Colin, does that sound about right?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Colin Hill. I currently work at Burman University. We're in Alberta, Canada, where I'm the IT director there. 15 plus years in teaching high school before that. And it was just after I took on the job at Burman when distance education really became a concern then. And so this committee was revitalized, and we met, I believe it was the summer of 2001 in Jacksonville with the summer curriculum committees. And so for that year and the next year, we met during that time frame where we drafted out guidelines for distance education was the main part then.
Yeah, and that went on for a long time, and things just kept evolving, and the need became greater and greater. And we had a lot of legendary teachers that were in our school systems at that time, and they didn't know what to do with technology either. And yet, amongst all that, during that time, there was a lot of early adopters. I was one of those early adopters. In the mid '90s, I wrote an SIS myself using Visual Basic. Put a laser barcode system to it, and the kids got a printout of their assignments for the day. It tracked everything, and I shared that around the Wisconsin conference for a while. And there was a lot of innovation happening, not just in my space, but all over the division like this. And early adopters were just clamoring, but at that time, the computers could not do what we really wanted them to do. And today, we're in a place where we have not only early adopters, but we have young people that have grown up using technology, and it's becoming easier and easier for our job to be able to partner with them when we find vendors and resources that we can put in the field as a recommendation. Those oftentimes come with good support because people kind of, I would say things are a lot more not just innovative, but they're intuitive now. And people just seem to be able to understand better how to do that. But in all of that, TDEC and now AEtech, which is Adventist Education Technology, what's the rest of that? Committee, okay. AEtech, we take our marching orders from the union directors. And so when they ask us, they put a task to us, we take that very seriously, and we try to give them back the things that they need that they feel represent their field and what is needed. And so we love to explore with them. We love to hear their feedback. And Colin, what else can we add to this about our history?
The coordination between, in the Wild West days, it was the Wild West where somebody was doing this over here and that over there. And so recognizing the need to kind of coordinate and was a big part of it as well. And
we've had to take our hits along the way. We were, initially when the SIS idea came out to kind of go division wide, we talked in circles, in big circles, about trying to onboard lots of schools. But a lot of schools were wanting, like their independence. They had their own servers. They had their own this and experts and things like that. And it was hard to move the needle. And I think to some extent, as a group, we still have a hard time communicating with the field. And yet we are still striving to do that all the time. And so it's a little bit of a hit and miss as to how effective we can always be, but we still love to do it. We still love to try. And I think we have been making inroads in places where we've never been able to make inroads before, in the sense that people know more about who we are and what we are trying to accomplish. And I think they also know that we have a pretty good track record with the vendors of choice. We have, I think we used to call them preferred vendors. Fax was one of those that AEtech or TDEC fielded years ago, and they became a preferred vendor, as time has evolved, Jupiter, and now we're writing our own AE Connect. So we've had conversations off and on, and sometimes the directors are spinning in different circles that require us to broaden our perspective too.
That's been a helpful history, and I feel like I've learned a lot. For our audience that are Adventist educators, some of those terms were familiar, but I also want to take a moment and explain some of the terms that might be unfamiliar to those that aren't Adventist educators, or I find sometimes even our Adventists don't understand how this works. But the Adventist church is structured in a way where you have the local entity, whether it's a school or a church, that is then in a conference, which is roughly one state, sometimes less than a state, sometimes more than one state at several states, and sometimes it crosses borders. And then you have unions, which is about 5 states, is that correct? Give or take, and it's not an exact number. Or country, like all of Canada. And so, yeah, and so those unions then make up divisions. So we represent the North American division. So each of us represents a different union, and we'll tell what those unions are. But we work in different places within our conferences or schools, and so the unions really are the ones that then direct. You talk about the directors. It's the people in charge of the unions that then give us guidance on. We're kind of in a conversation with them, with this committee versus them. But we really care. This committee really cares about how we can best support the educators, and that's what the unions and conferences and divisions are there for, is to help support the educators to do the best in their classrooms.
And I would add just one thing here is that we're hearing some of the passion already come out. This is great, okay? Yeah. Kind of understanding that all of us sitting here have full-time jobs, yes. Right? I think it's helpful to know that, that aren't just sitting waiting for support calls. So I'm sharing that in context to say, even though that's the case, we love to hear from teachers, from schools who have questions. We love to give guidance where we don't know answers. You know, we'll get emails from Martha at times, reaching out to often Tyler, who you'll meet in a minute. He's one of our deep technologists. Probably he and Colin represent the cream of the crop with real IT management. The rest of us are posers to some degree. But having said that, we love to hear from teachers. So as you're learning about each of the educators here, the team, don't be shy to reach out. We don't always have the answer, but a lot of times there's someone on the team who will, and we can provide guidance. So before we leave, Jonathan and Colin, hey, do you guys mind sharing just a minute? Each of us are going to share something that you're passionate about. It could be a hobby, something in your personal life that you really enjoy that share with us.
Yeah, I think it's been, one of the reasons that I chose to become an educator, an Adventist educator in particular, is I really want to be able to finish the work and go home. Amen. And I had this notion in my head that it would be worth my time to become an Adventist educator if I could get just one more teacher and one more pastor out of my time, which means I doubled myself. But I shortchanged the Lord on that, and I believe that as we have children go through our schools, they are all contributing to finishing the work. Amen. And we get to go home sooner and faster. So I'm very passionate about that idea that our schools do make a difference, they do matter, and I appreciate the fact that our parents choose to send their children to our schools. Mm-hmm. I'm passionately thankful that our churches support our schools at the levels that they do, and I am just very passionate about Adventist education. I've been doing this for 37 years now.
No one's going to top that answer. Okay, that was really good. Okay, I was thinking about pizza and things I enjoy, but that was inspiring, all right? That's why we're here. It's to build each other up and inspire one another. So thank you, Jonathan. Colin, what do you have to share?
Well, the outdoors has always been an attraction for me, and one of the things that brought my wife and I together was outdoors and camping, backpacking, so on. So the last few years has been kayaking. And I built my own kayak from a kit, and we've paddled all across Canada. A few summers ago, we paddled with the beluga whales up in Churchill, Manitoba. So some fantastic times, and mountain climbing, anything outdoors has been a thrill. As I was a student at Canadian University College, it used to be, that is now Burman, I was on the tumbling team there too, so being active. And when my children wanted to be part of it, then I got back in and helped manage or coach while they were part of the team as well. And riding unicycle was one of the things that I did there, riding unicycle and juggling. But the past few years, well, it's been 10 years now since I've been helping out with the team there, but I've taken up the electric unicycle. And so adding in that technology part there, bringing it into the modern age, the last 3 years of has been my main commute through the summer when the snow isn't on the ground, has been the electric unicycle. I ride to work and back, the gym and back, so 3 times a day, there and back. And
You think you know a guy?
Over
I
4,000 kilometers I put on it so far.
That's amazing. I thought I knew you better than that. That was news to me. Well, thank you guys for sharing. Let's head over to Archie. Archie, introduce yourself and share.
Hi, my name's Archie Harris. I'm from Spokane, Washington. Part of the North Pacific Union Conference is where I represent. I was excited about joining this committee because of the ways we could support small schools. When I joined, I was from Montana Conference and had many small schools, and I was looking for ways to help the small school teacher. And there was a lot of things that this committee did back in those days. Things I enjoy when I'm not working would be riding motorcycles, dirt bikes or road bikes, and woodworking.
Oh, I'm jealous. I thought you were going to say, was Taco Bell fit in there somewhere?
Taco Bell, there's always room for Taco.
Okay, there we go. I knew it.
Well, I'm Sharina Phillips. I work for the Northeastern Conference. I represent the Atlantic Union Conference. I was drafted into this committee nearly 10 years ago. Time flies. Something about me, I like to travel, and I'm currently learning pickleball.
Awesome. I think we joined about the same time, didn't we? I was a rookie when you were a rookie, I think. So
We did.
I'm Tyler Rettler. I'm from Denver. I'm the rep from the Mid-America Union. I actually IT director for the Rocky Mountain Conference. They were explaining conferences earlier. And one thing I enjoy about the committee is just, kind of like Archie said, especially helping those small schools. We have such a disparity between the smaller schools and the bigger schools. I think for me personally, I like a lot of outdoor things, kind of like Colin. I like especially hiking up in the mountains. Partly, it's kind of nice. You don't need a lot of equipment for a lot of that. Not sure I could handle a unicycle. I'm a little clumsy, so I like that. I like animals, and I mean, it seems a little much, but I also like just tinkering with tech stuff in my free time too. So.
For sure. And before we move on from Tyler, we are here in Utah for a special reason. So this committee gets together about once a year. Every other year we go to a conference together, a big EdTech conference, whether it's ISTE or FETC. But this year we are here with the TSC committee. And Tyler, do you mind putting you on the spot? I hope, but do you mind explaining the TSC, because he represents this committee to TSC?
Yeah, so we're here. This is the annual. It's the NAD's Technical Standards Conference, which brings together IT professionals from across the NAD just to get together and go through updates from the NAD and for everybody to kind of network and update each other. But then at the end, there's also the Technical Standards Committee, which is kind of the NAD IT version of this committee. It's there's a rep from each union, a few other people on there, plus recently a rep from this committee to help represent the education side to the IT professional side of everything.
Somebody who speaks their language,
Yeah.
right? And that's you.
Yeah.
So we're here because we want to collaborate more with them. There's a bunch of ideas that we hope to share later about conversations we're having to better support our schools with IT, because IT having one-to-one devices is not an option really anymore. It's become so essential, like textbooks, and the quality of those is also essential. You wouldn't want to give your students 20-year-old textbooks, or you wouldn't want to give them ripped up textbooks, and technology is the same way. We want to be able to provide, we think it's essential to provide valuable technology to all our schools.
And if you recognize Tyler, it's from an episode he joined us on as a guest, as did our next representative. So RJ, take it away.
Hi, my name is RJ Tenga. My name is actually Rosalith, but nobody calls me that. So I'm RJ Tenga. I am the representative from Pacific Union, and I am with AEtech for 2 years now. And I was excited when I was asked to be the representative because that means I'm able to be the one to speak up about involving STEM and technology in our schools and also design thinking if possible. My passion is going in the internet, looking for robots that I can incorporate in the classroom and just play with them and code them and see how it can fit in the curriculum in our classrooms. And my husband is already complaining because we have a lot of robots at home. But it's nice because when I see the possibilities of the robots, I envision my students using empathy and using that device to help those who are around them. So, yes.
Hey, let's speak to RJ's husband directly real quick. Listen, you're very blessed that your wife is bringing home robots, okay? Embrace it. Love it. That's great. All right. Hey, let's pass it over to Paola now.
Well, hello, my name is Paula, and I don't represent a union or a local field. I actually work for the Adventist Learning Community, and that's an NAD department, and we work closely with the Office of Education, and we are providing online training and resources for teachers. One of my passions outside of work is water. I love water sports. I know it's seasonal. I don't love the winter ones as much. I do the water, so in kayaking, paddleboarding, canoeing. I actually spend the whole summer with an inflatable paddleboard in my trunk. You never know when the right time comes along. So I do. And part of that is I've always lived, except for the last 2 years, about 15 minutes from one of the Great Lakes. So I've always had that field of vision. I have one of those lakes. And in work, I think my passion has always been the process of learning, how the brain learns, what can we do to enhance learning, what hinders learning. And now that I work with teachers, what does learning look like in adults? So I work with that. And then also technology, what tools enhance our lives, whether at home or in the school or in our daily work.
Yep. And Adventist Learning Community is the main sponsor producer of this podcast, and Paula helps us a lot. She's one of the team that helps to make this happen. So we want to appreciate that. And I also want to say we learned about new water sport yesterday, at least new to me. Yes. We went to the Olympic Park when we had some time off, and they were. And if my videos turned out, I'll put a video of this in here. But they were practicing ski jumping, and they had a big, deep pool, and they were landing in the pool. It was quite entertaining. It looked like it was mostly kids that were doing it. Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of in between.
I don't know about doing that. I'll stick with the safe ones.
Thank you, Paola. All right, we're wrapping it up here with Nicole. Nicole, share with us.
Hi, my name is Nicole Matson, and I represent the Lake Union. I work in the education department at the Lake Union. And I'm passionate about way too many things, I think. I love the outdoors and hiking and pickleball and my grandkids. But I think it was probably back about 2008, I became really passionate about technology in the classroom. So I got my master's in AEtech and kind of landed here, I think, in this position because of that. And in the meantime, ended up teaching a class for teachers at one of our universities at Andrews to help them integrate technology. So I'm really passionate about that and my so-called free time. But I love to empower teachers to use technology to enhance learning and to make learning just become vibrant and alive for our students, and also so they can see Jesus in everything.
Amen. Yes, let's do it. That was amazing. Now, man, I don't know about you guys, but so those of you watching this, I feel like I need to say it. This is like the highlight of my year when I get to spend time with you guys. You guys are awesome. It's personally uplifting. I see the passion. You learn things about your team. It's really easy for teachers out there to get down. You guys probably deal directly with teachers. Some of you in supervisory roles, that get down. You feel like you're on an island out there. I just think it's important to know the quality of people that have your back. And this group right here is top notch, unbeatable, really. So thank you guys for being such an inspiration to me. And I look forward to this every time we get together. It's just a huge blessing to me personally, so thank you.
So we want to wrap up this with just some quick advice. These are all legendary educators, and they have great advice to give to teachers. They spend a lot of their time doing that. And so just briefly, give us some short advice that you wish that the educators watching this podcast might take away. Could be tech related, might not be tech related.
Let's go popcorn style. Whoever's got the mic or whoever wants it, go for it.
Grab it.
So before I start, I didn't tell the audience what I do.
Oh, please do. Please.
I'm not just hoarding robots. There's a reason for it. So I actually teach junior high Bible, robotics, and science at Loma Linda Academy, and I'm also the TK-12 Innovation and Technology chair. So that being said, you are not alone. If you have ideas, and sometimes it's because of all the responsibilities that you have, sometimes it's hard to reach that idea and make it into something that is real. You're not alone. There are people around you that are willing to listen and are willing to help to make it a reality. All you need to do is reach out. And don't be scared of reaching out, because the reality of it is the worst you can get is no answer. But AEtech is here. We are here to listen. We are here to make it happen for you. And so have the confidence to reach out.
Well said, RJ. I echo that. Well said. I have two things I'd like to share. One is to start small. It's very easy to get overwhelmed these days. Start small, start with one thing, start with two things. And the second is don't compare yourself. You might see the teacher next door doing wonderful things and it just feels overwhelming and you feel you're not there. But start small and do something that helps you. If you find what you're using, the technology you're trying to implement, is not helping you and it's causing you angst, put it aside and find something that helps you and saves time. That's the objective, something that helps your students learn and something that helps you save time. If you find that it's not fulfilling any of those purposes, leave it aside, and there's plenty to use that can help you fulfill those purposes. So don't compare yourselves and start small.
And I would just have to kind of ditto what Paula just said, because in this world right now, technology can be overwhelming. There's new apps and new tools every single day. So just remember that technology is not the thing. Technology is a thing to help enhance learning, which is the thing. So just pick one or two things to help you teach and enhance the thing. But don't get caught up in worrying about all the things you're not doing, because just put your energy into doing a few things well that will help you to teach the students and enhance the learning experience. That's what it's all about.
I think a couple things I would have would be kind of on a similar note would be just remembering just because the technology's there doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to have a tech solution. I have to kind of pull myself back from some things too, trying to solve problems and go, well, maybe this just doesn't have a good technology solution for this particular problem that I'm trying to tackle. And so, yeah, if it is getting complicated, maybe that's just not the right solution for that. And also just try to remember, I have a lot of teachers I've worked with who are really good at inspiring their students with to have a growth mindset. And so I would just want you as teachers to keep that in mind for yourselves too, that because I've worked with a lot of teachers who kind of, it's easy to get frustrated with some of this and kind of feel like, oh, I'm just not good at it. But if you can try to remember that growth mindset piece that you're trying to get for your students too, that applies to yourself too.
I'd have to say, kind of similar to what was said already, but remember that every day is a school day. You don't have to be the best at something, but take the opportunity daily, weekly to try something new. That's how we continue to do our personal growth. And also, my new mantra in the past 1 to 2 years is, I've forgotten what it is.
That's a good mantra.
That's a good one.
It'll come to you.
Oh man, it's work hard, work smarter, not harder. There are many things out there that can help reduce your workload. Just take the time to find something that can reduce what you do and still come up with an effective product.
I like the idea of adding to this collection of ideas that if you find something that you are passionate about with tech that blends well with what you're trying to teach, that is valuable, if you can get a twofer or a threefer out of it, you're combining different subjects, combining things, and something really cool comes out of that. If your heart is in it, the kids are going to pick up on that, and you're going to carry that through much easier. So, and then the other part of it, I would say, would be let your creativity just kind of let loose a little bit more. Even if you're a legendary teacher, I mean, early adopters love these sort of things, but just let your creativity just take a hold and go for it. Just as an example, start tinkering with something. Like AI is the new hot thing. Should we have it in our schools? Should we not? But you personally, if you start tinkering with it, just let your creativity kind of get out of the bag a little bit, and you may find, oh, hey, I can give an idea and I can have a worship really quick, or I can have a lesson plan that's really, reflective of what this textbook is saying or these standards are saying, or, just using it in a tinkering sort of way can lead to great things. And as you do that, I have found that teachers in general find things become more and more intuitive, and it gets easier and easier to keep integrating more and more without having to put out huge amounts of effort. So my two thoughts here really are about, go with where your passion is first. I had a teacher the other day say, it'd be really cool if these kids could make, these different items inside of the tabernacle with the 3D printer. And then, they could see it and hold it and touch it with their own hands and things like that. And so she got excited about maybe getting a 3D printer for that purpose. And so now she's got her heart and her passion and her creativity all going. And now it's finding the funding and things like that. So I think there's lots of ways to be very creative and passionate about what you do in your teaching to integrate technology.
Well, my thought was very similar to some others here, is start with something and don't expect it to work the first time or even the second time. So don't be afraid of failure, but pick something, and if it doesn't work, then don't fret it, go on to something else. But also maybe don't be afraid to involve your students in researching out something, or even asking them to do something that may help you adopt something in the future, or as it gets successful. So reach out and don't be afraid to get your students involved in it too.
When you were 2, you learned by asking questions. And I think that doesn't change today. Don't be afraid to ask others, especially teachers. They like to be talked with. You learn from talking with others and visiting other classrooms. Learn maybe what you would like to do and maybe what you don't want to do.
A lot of wisdom here. We could probably go around and around and around, and we get high quality answers every time. Desmond, I'm realizing we should probably just share real quick personally. Okay. Just in case you don't know, okay, you know who I am, but I represent our Southwestern Union, and so all the states encompass there. Reach out. Any of these guys, if you're in the territory, reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Passions, so I'm going to share that if you want to share as well. I love food and cooking. It's not just eating, it's the cooking. Okay, so I love all things cooking. And if you want to see pictures of my food, I do that. I probably don't share them with you guys enough, but I love cooking and taking pictures of my food. Family vacations, and then live stream events. I'm really into that now. So that's a lot of fun for me. And I'll let you do yours. And then I have just one thought I'd like to share, since they've all shared.
Yeah, so, I'm Desmond Suarez, as you hear hopefully every time we do a podcast. But I represent the Columbia Union. I work at Richmond Academy, where I teach computers, religion, film, social studies, and so on. And there's a lot of things I get passionate about. I try to keep my passions contained because they kind of can be consuming. But what I've been enjoying recently, besides the Jacksonville Jaguars having a really good season, but also I've been getting more and more into filmmaking and photography and helping my students do that. I spend a lot of time helping my students do that.
Wisdom for the teachers?
Wisdom. There's so much wisdom that, like, I'm trying not to completely repeat, but you are a well-trained professional. We say this all the time on our blessings, but you are way more qualified than you think you are. It's easy as a teacher to feel like you are not equipped, you are not qualified enough, but you are way more qualified than you think you are. And if you're not, you are an expert enough to figure out how to become qualified. And resources like this are hopefully just a small part of everything you do, but to find the resources and to reach out and to follow your intuition, you're a legendary teacher.
That's right. So I don't know if any of you guys know Pastor Bill Kilgore. Anybody? He came to Burton. I don't even think I shared, but I do it on every episode. So I'm our Director of Advancement at Burton Academy, part of our admin team. It's a blast. But Bill Kilgore came and shared a worship thought about 10 years ago, and he brought a ton of rocks, and he even had the staff grab a rock. We all grabbed rocks, and he was like, I want you to write something on that rock that God is speaking to you now about, him putting you in this place for a purpose and a reason. And that rock still sits on my desk today. It means a lot to me. And I kind of just parroted what he said because it just really resonated with me. And I just wrote on this rock, God brought me here. And what I would hope you all listening today would take away from this, God brought each of these awesome people here to support you. He brought you here to be a blessing to your students. And I think when you reflect on your why, we all get exhausted and tired and just worn out. I mean, that's the life we all live. That's the life you live. But if you reflect on the reason of it, to minister to kids, back to what Jonathan started with here, of if you can reach one, you said, yeah, maybe you're selling God short a little bit. I don't remember how you said that, but just think about that impact on one life. I mean, that is powerful to think about. So I hope your takeaway today isn't just on the tech side, but it's to know you're part of an awesome team of people who are here on a mission because we all believe God brought us here for a special purpose. So we hope that you're blessed by getting to know our team today.